Hi everybody, and thanks for watching 51 Drones, where my channel is about learning how to fly a drone from a beginner's perspective. In particular, the DJI Mavic Pro, and pretty soon the DJI Spark as well. So I just got back from vacation with my family from the Black Hills of South Dakota. Now if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I had plans to shoot a lot of Mavic Pro footage while I was in the Black Hills because it's such a beautiful area and I knew that the scenery was going to be awesome. And I hope I won't let you down. I have about 100 gigabytes of 2.7 and 4K footage of one of the most beautiful places on Earth. So I want to put a little bit of that footage at the end of this video, but I'm compiling all kinds of video to put together, and I just ordered my new computer and it's going to be a 4K editing beast. So I can't wait to get that next week. Once I get that, I'll be able to be more efficient at editing those videos, and then I'll push those out to you guys and you guys can enjoy those. So today is my fourth installment of my quick tips for the Mavic Pro. And so today I have 3 quick tips that I want to share with you guys. Some things that I learned from my experience over this past week while I was flying my Mavic Pro. You know, I didn't check my flight log, but I would guess I probably flew for a total of 4 or 5 hours. And so during that time I learned a few things, and I wanted to share those things with you guys. So my first tip, you guys, be sure to do 2 things before every single flight. Number 1, always calibrate your compass. You know, even if it doesn't ask you to calibrate or suggest that you need to calibrate your compass, just do it. Especially if you're flying somewhere new. You know, there was a situation where I was attempting to fly my Mavic in a straight line when I was trying to bring it home, but it kept veering off to the right. And I know it wasn't the wind, and I know my sticks were calibrated properly, so I'm guessing it's because I didn't calibrate my compass before this flight. I didn't take the time because I wanted to get a shot of these geese before they swam away. And I had trouble flying my Mavic back to my launch point. Secondly, always, and I mean always, you guys, make sure that your return to home altitude is set for the environment that you are in. So here's the situation. I was flying around near the place where we were staying, and there was a lot of pine trees and stuff and a lot of obstacles, and where I took off from, the elevation was quite a bit lower from where I was flying. Now, I had my return home set to 40 meters, which is usually what I have it at, which is about 130 feet, just over 130 feet. And I didn't take into consideration that my Mavic would be flying so far above from where I took off from. So basically, long story short, I lost the signal because of all the trees and because I was so low and my Mavic was so high, and the automatic return to home kicked in. And it nearly ran into this pine tree. Which was apparently at about 135 feet from my launch point. But thankfully, once again, the obstacle avoidance saved me. And that's the 4th time that obstacle avoidance has saved me and saved my Mavic. So I guess my biggest takeaway from this trip, you guys, was to create and use a checklist. Every time you fly your Mavic, create a checklist, just like a normal pilot does when they fly an airplane. Just create a checklist for your Mavic. I know a lot of people do that, and a lot of people suggest doing that. So I'm gonna do that from now on, and I'm gonna create that checklist, and I'm actually gonna share it with you guys in a future video, so keep watching for that. My second tip for you guys, get a landing pad. You know, when I first started watching Mavic Pro videos on YouTube, you know, there were a few channels that had videos doing reviews on these landing pads, and I thought, you know, that's kind of a dumb idea. What do you need one of those things for? You know, what the heck is that thing for? Well, I found out there's a few reasons. Number 1, you will save on blades, on propellers. Do not try to launch your Mavic Pro from the grass. You know, no matter how short you think the grass is, grass will kill your propellers. I tried to launch from the grass one time, and this is what happened. Totally cracked my propeller. So get a landing pad. Now, a company called Light Take was nice enough to send me this one to try out. You know, it's just the right size, it's really easy to fold up, put back in the case, it's really portable, and now I take it everywhere I go. And I'll put a link below to the same landing pad. You guys can check that out and get a landing pad. They're relatively inexpensive, and when you think about the price that you pay for propellers, a landing pad really isn't that much. The other reason to get a landing pad, you guys, because it provides an excellent reference point for your precision landing to lock onto. If you ever use the return to home feature. Now, I've learned through experience, don't use the return to home to land your Mavic unless you really need to. But I want to show you guys, I did a little experiment by using the landing pad for the return to home feature to show you how accurate it is. So basically what I did, I took that little X that I had drawn on my driveway and I lifted my Mavic up. I flew out a couple hundred feet and then I just hit return to home, and then I observed where it landed back on the X. And as you can see, it actually did quite well. You know, the return to home precision landing works quite well, even with a reference point as limited as that little faded purple X. And then what I did is I put down my landing pad and I did that same thing. I launched it up, I flew it about 200 feet, I hit return to home, and look at how amazing this thing is. I mean, it landed exactly in the spot that I took off from. So I thought that was pretty amazing, and I think just that contrast of the H and the orange and having everything there for the camera to use along with the GPS, I think the precision landing works even better with a landing pad. So my third and final tip today for all of you Mavic Pro owners or all of you future Mavic Pro owners is to get yourself a set of ND filters. Now I know I already did a video on the Polar Pro filters that I have, but I have to tell you that without those filters this past week, I never would have gotten the nice footage that I did. You know, all but one of the days were very bright and very sunny, and I used the ND16 almost the entire time. You know, it not only helped me to slow down my shutter speed so I could get some more smooth footage, but it also helps tone down things like glaring and reflections. It just makes your video look so much nicer. It's deeper and richer. You know, it's not as good as say like a polarizer filter, but the ND filters still do a really nice job of making the footage look less blown out on those sunny days. So you have a wonderful drone with the Mavic Pro, get some ND filters on it so you can get some wonderful footage with it. I'll put the link for those Polar Pro filters in the description down below. Go ahead and check them out if you guys need some ND filters. I think those are the ones to get because you can calibrate your gimbal while it's on there. You can start up your Mavic Pro while the filter is on there. They're very lightweight, they have a great warranty, and they have great customer service. So I highly recommend checking out those Polar Pro filters. So that's all I have today for quick tips for you guys. If you got anything out of this video, go ahead and click on that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. It makes me feel good, and I think it makes you feel good too. If you're not subscribed to this channel and you're just passing by checking out this video, go ahead and click on subscribe. We'd love to have you. I have a very interactive and a very engaged subscriber base, and so it's really cool that we can learn from each other. So go ahead and click on that subscribe button. If you got any comments or questions about this video or anything at all in any of my videos, go ahead and put those in the comments below. I always try to get back to people within 24 hours, and if there's something that you ask me that I don't know the answer to, I'm going to find the answer for you, and I'm going to get back to you as soon as I can. So once again, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and as always, fly safe and fly smart.